Good morning to y'all. You all woke up grateful this morning. I hope that you reminded yourself of 5 things that you're grateful for. I hope that you're setting a high vibe. I hope that you're getting the most out of your days. I hope that you're really, really making better choices for yourself. So, this morning, I have a special treat. So, when this person is ready to jump on, well, he's going to jump aboard. Okay? Um, and I'm sure many of you know him. So I'm really, really, really happy and excited to join him for him to join on the live this morning. And I've never spoken to I've never spoken to him yet. So this is the first encounter myself of an interaction with him. We've typed, but to speak, it'll be the first time. So I'm really excited. When he's ready, he's just going to jump in, I believe. So I want you guys all to remember a couple of things before I get into the hot topic of how we're going to ride this morning, because we're going to wing it. There's no real topic. I think we're going to touch base on whatever our hearts feel to talk about. So that's going to be really interesting because there's no set agenda. There's no set plan. It's just, hey, we're going to have a great chat this morning. So I want you guys all to remember limitations are a chance to get creative. All right. The only person that's setting those limitations is you. All right. You can get past that. Remember to stay in your place of feeling because your heart speaks. Okay. Your heart tells you everything that you need, but you have to silence up here because the brain here, remember, the subconscious is a memory bank. All right. So this up here in your brain, it's a storage bank, okay, of all of your past. All right. I want you guys to see any obstacle as a chance for growth. Okay. Chance to learn. I want you to take obstacles and turn them into opportunities. All right. So I'm really excited. I'm really excited for this morning. And I'm sure it won't be too long and he's going to jump on with us. I want you guys to remember that you're sourced by infinite, unconditional love. All right. And this love loves you no matter what. All right. No matter what. There's no judgment in that. Okay. The only people that are putting judgment is ourselves. Okay. We judge everything about ourselves and others instead of loving ourselves and loving others. Okay. I want you guys to do what's right. Okay. I want you guys to get the most out of your day. If you're caught up in emotional swirls of things that aren't healthy, well, you're not getting the most out of your day. All right. If you're making choices from not a heartful place and a loving place, well, then you're making wrong choices for yourself and for others. Okay. Oh, I'm excited. I'm wondering. I'm just going to check. Anyway, I really hope that all of you guys are feeling the effects of all of this. Okay. I really hope that you guys are starting to see things differently. I hope that you guys have triggered some food for thought, and I hope that you guys are actually going and researching the things that you find questionable about what I say, because that's the key to it, right? The key to it is to force a little growth, right? Because if I trigger food for thought, you guys are going to go and do your research. You're going to go and find your own answers. And that's what is so essential, okay? Because my answers are different from yours, okay? Okay, I'm just going to see. I know you guys are all waiting to see who it is. And I know you guys are all anxious. You guys are curious to see who it is. All right, so I think he's coming on. And I'm really happy. So let's see. Because I sent him an invite. That's right, Power Talks. You know something? I love you, bro. I love you. I love you. I love you. You're one man on this planet that looks out for me no matter what. Understand that, bro. I couldn't have gotten this far without you. Okay? And you know that. All right? And as I go up, spiral up, you go spiraling up. And as you go spiraling up, you pull me up too. All right? Blessings, bro. Enough love. All right. So now I think that I can. All right. So we are adding him live. Let's see how this works. I've never done this before. Great morning to you. Yes.
To you too. How you doing?
I'm really happy that you're joining this morning.
Well,
And it's
thank
a
you for
surprise
inviting me.
to everybody because I gave
Okay.
a little, hey, we're going to have somebody join, but I never told them who.
Oh, okay.
Yes, you
Put
see.
me on the spot there, Ray. That's what it's about. Okay.
No,
Okay.
not at all. I just didn't let anybody know who the special guest was this morning.
Oh, oh.
And you are the special joinee this morning. How are you?
Thank you. I'm very good. How are you?
I'm very good. This is our first face-to-face talk, and I'm really
Yes.
grateful for it.
Yeah. And we've been chatting for a little bit there, so yeah, it's nice to see the energy now, like live and direct. So good on you.
And
Thanks for having me again.
your energy is muchly appreciated. I can feel that too. All right.
Thank you.
Lots
Thank you.
of greatness within that soul, and you shine.
Thank you.
So, how do you want to do this morning? I think I would like to give you the floor to say what your heart is speaking on this morning.
Okay, perfect. So first, let me start by kind of introducing myself a little bit because I know I kind of told you a little bit of what I'm about and that sort of thing. So now that I have audience, I'll just share my stuff with you guys.
Great.
So, um, first off, the reason why I kind of asked to join this kind of medium was, well, not medium, but platform, sorry, is you were talking a lot yesterday about decision making. And I think that, there was a lot of stuff that I agreed with you about. It was more like, you know, life kind of happens, right? So when we have to make a decision, sometimes we're put in a situation where that decision has to be made like instantly, like at that moment. And then sometimes, I don't want to say God doesn't give us a chance to decide, but, we get in a situation where it's like, oh my gosh, you have option A, option B, and your time is pretty much minimal. So you don't really have the chance to process it. You just have to kind of, like you said yesterday, like you got to listen to your heart, and your heart will tell you exactly which decision you make. Now, the problem is that,
Hold on, I just have to interrupt you. We've got somebody asking your name, so you got to introduce yourself.
oh, I'm sorry. I thought I did it already. Okay. So, my name is Wendell Goddard. I'm recently, it's been about maybe 2 years now that I've uh, attained an attestation as a life coach. So I was going into training and all that stuff, and I finally decided to take that route. Right now, it's kind of on the side. I do have another full-time job. I work in the oil and gas industry. I do a lot of safety watch. I do a lot of what maintenance, security kind of thing. So that's pretty much the gist of what I do. Um, a little bit about me personally. It's funny. It's like I watch you, sharing your deep personal stuff with the world. And sometimes it's a little challenging because you don't know how people are going to take what you're going to say, or you know what should I share, should I share everything, should I share a little bit, should I share like just in the middle, so I'm going to try and share first just to.
Okay. Okay. Now, when you get into those thought processes, you're in your brain
That's right.
thinking. So
That's
now
right.
I want you to remove that and I want you to tap into your heart and don't worry about how it's taken because you are meant to be here exactly where you are right now,
Okay.
saying whatever it is that your heart tells you to speak without any concern of any limitation or how it's taken.
Right.
Right? And
Right.
I am super blessed and super grateful that you're live here this morning. So
Okay. Good.
please, no red lights.
Okay.
Speak your heart. All
Okay. Thank
right?
you. Okay.
All
Good.
right. So let's go back to what you were saying.
Okay. Um, so I remember you were saying a lot about, how you've dealt with quite a few things in your life and how it's made you to a certain point, right? So I'm kind of the same thing too, and I think that's what really kind of channeled me to kind of open up to you and reach out to you and that sort of thing. When I was about 10 years old, I I I I I was I wasn't really aware as to what's right and what's wrong or what's going on, right? Like normal people do, right? So my mom was a very strict. I had a very strict upbringing. Like I wouldn't go to the extent of saying child abuse, but it was borderline. Okay, and my my I have a brother, a younger brother, and I had a brother and a sister that were twins. Now, when I was 10 years old, I woke up one morning and it was a Saturday morning, and I just got up and I just don't know why. It was almost like I think this was the first introduction that I got to the actual energy, right? So I was getting up and I was walking towards my brother's room, my brother and my sister's room. And I was I was like, why am I? Why I was up at like maybe 7 o'clock in the morning. Usually I'm not. I used to be the type that sleeps in the morning, right? But this case, I was like, I just got up and I just started walking to the room, and I kept asking myself like, why am I walking to my brother and sister's room? It was almost like somebody, like a spirit, was pulling me towards that room, right? So I walked into the room and I looked, and I'm looking at my brother and my sister, and their cribs were like this, right? So I'm looking at both cribs, and I'm trying to see, like, because I know I had this presence that something was happening, right? So I'm looking at my brother, and I see my brother sleeping, and the blanket's kind of over his head a little bit. And then I look at my sister, and she's sleeping on her stomach with her head turned out, and you could see her face. So no brainer, I start saying, you know what? His blanket shouldn't be so far over his head. Maybe I should pull it to his feet, right? So as I reached in to pull the blanket to his feet, my hand brushed against his feet and it was cold. And when I pulled the blanket over, I seen my brother's face in the pillow. Like you couldn't even see his face. And I was like, whoa. So I put my hand on his back and I remembered feeling that it
I'm
was,
getting chills right now.
yeah, I'm sorry. This is a
No,
very,
no, don't be sorry. I want you to deepen this. I'm getting
okay,
chills right now. So there's, you need to explore this within yourself and go a little deeper.
okay,
Okay. And
okay,
feel free to open up and speak on this.
okay.
Okay.
So, thank you. So, uh, I put my hand on his back and I felt that he was cold. When I pulled the blanket down to his feet, I see his face in the pillow, and I was like, "Oh my goodness, there's something wrong here," right? So for about maybe, I want to say, 10 minutes, I was stood there and I was just staring because I was like, okay, I was processing. If I go and I wake my mother up for this, and it's nothing major, I'm gonna get a beating because that was what was gonna happen. So took the 10 minutes and I said, you know what? I said, no. I said, something told me, go get your mom, you know? So I ran to my mom's room, knocked on the door. I was like, Mom, you got to get up. Mom, you got to get up. And I just heard her like kind of moaning because she was just tired, right? So I I just opened the door and walked in and I remember tapping my mom on the shoulder and I said, Mom, you have to get up. And she was like, oh, let me sleep. Let me sleep. I'm tired. I'm like, Mom, something's wrong. Like, something's wrong with Mark. And she was like, Mark. And she jumped out of the bed. She left. And I stayed in the room. I was like, you know. And when she went into the room, I was sitting there and she just called my dad's name in the most loud, scary, eeriest way that I could still hear it right
In
now,
terror.
in terror. And my dad jumped out of the bed, ran, and I it was a mixed feeling, right? Because you're like, okay, at least I woke her up for something that I'm not gonna get a beating for. But then on the opposite side, it's like, okay, what's going on? You know, I'm 10 years old. I don't know what's going on here, right? So I go running to the room, and as I'm walking towards the room, I didn't even get to the room yet. I got like halfway through the hallway, and I just saw my dad running out of the room, holding my brother and putting him on the kitchen table. He just threw everything off the table and just started doing CPR. Like, so I was like, oh my, that's when the lights went off. I was like, this is not good. I knew something now. This is really like danger, right? So my mom's on the phone and I'm not even thinking because I just want to know because that's just the type of person I was. I was just a curious guy, you know? So I was I remember pulling on my mom's shirt and saying, Mom, what's going on? Mom, what's going on? She's like, I'm on the phone. I'm on the phone. And then she just like called the ambulance. The ambulance came like within 5 minutes. Like all of this happened like, right? So I like the minute she hung up the phone, like literally the minute she hung up the phone, 2 or 3 minutes later, my doorbell rings. So my mom was like, go answer the door. So I ran to the door and I answered the door. And we lived in a duplex where it was like, we lived upstairs and it was one of those long stairs. It was like, I was watching these guys come up the steps with a gurney and it felt like it took them an hour to get up the steps, right? So when they finally get to the top and they're looking at me and they're like, where is he? I said, oh, he's over there, you know? And they just ran around the corner. So I was like, oh my gosh, there's something going on here now. Like now I'm slowly starting to process like this. Now I know what's going on, right? So as I'm going back towards the kitchen to see what's going on, like me, I took maybe like, I don't know 5 or 6 steps, and then they were coming right back. So I kind of whoa, you know, and I remember going against the wall, and they just flew right past me and just left. And then I remember my mom saying, "He's not coming back. He's not coming back." And I'm like, "Mom, like what happened?" You know, I said, "What happened?" And then she was like, she said, "You know, God took my baby. God took my baby." And I was just like, and that's the only thing that I remembered from that instant. Now, fast forward.
Hold
So,
on. Hold on.
yeah,
We can't fast forward yet.
okay.
In that incident, your brother passed?
Yes, he did.
Okay, I need to tell you something this morning. You're still very unhealed from that. That still traumatizes you. Now, your brother woke you up.
I believe that.
That you need to know that.
Yeah, I believe that. I strongly believe
Well, you need to know that he woke you up. And this is going to be this incident that you're speaking on right now is one of the biggest parts of your healing that you need to attack. Okay? See that state of how you felt that 10 minutes? It
that.
wasn't 10 minutes. And I'm being channeled to tell you that. What may have felt like 10 minutes to you was merely a 10 seconds. And that is something that you need to forgive yourself for because you had no part in that. And ever since that moment, you have questioned inside yourself if there was anything you could have done to change that situation.
That's right.
I am sorry. You need to let that go now. And the energy is telling me that you need to know that.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you. Mm-hmm.
So, and that's why we can't move on from that, because energies speak. And this has been huge for you. And everything from that point has been based out of that point,
Healing. Mm-hmm. Okay.
because that was the most traumatic situation that you've had to face. Now, you need to heal that. How? I have to, okay, I have to tell you right now how you're going to do that. What you have to do is the same way that you described it to me. When you have time to sit with yourself and God and the energies of the universe, you need to go back to that moment and you need to relive it 100%. But the difference is, in this moment, is you need to infuse the love that nobody could give you at that moment. Okay?
Good.
Because yes, there was a lot of trauma for you before that, but that stunted your spiritual growth. You hauled back. And ever since that moment, you've been trying to, and you have been realigning and reconnecting and evolving and growing. And this is what I'm feeling. So, but in order for your projection to the next phase, you need to heal that.
Okay.
Okay.
So
But we can go on from that if, okay.
yeah, absolutely.
But
And
these are just,
this is what it is, right? Because I mean, um, when you look at people in a human sense, right?
yes.
You know, like, and that was just like the beginning, right? Like, I've lost a couple cousins shortly after that. You know, I've had one incident where um I had a gun point to my face and then I was stabbed, but I was in the hospital for only 3 days and I survived everything. You know, I just had a little scar. But I mean, I'm saying all this just to say that, you know, when you go through things like that in life, because I mean, I remember you were saying a bunch of stuff too there about, you know, your near death experiences and that. And it's like, sometimes, like, I mean, it's sad to say this, but there's some people in this world that they need that in order to understand exact what it's all about, you know? Like, there's so many people that go through this world doubting and being negative and, you know, and not understanding exactly what's going on, and they think that it's okay to do that. You know, they think that, oh well, the world's messed up, so I have to be messed up too, kind of thing, right? You know, but
They excuse themselves of their actions because they
exactly.
justify their actions with everything else going
Everything
on.
else.
And it's
Exactly.
not right because they
And it's
don't
not.
hold accountability to themselves.
Yeah. And it's not, you know, and, you know, another thing too was as I started getting older after that incident, I was really getting deeply into my spiritual. You know, I started doing meditation, you know, I started doing the coaching thing because, you know, I had a lot of people that were coming at me with their relationship issues. And, you know, it's funny because, you know, people are like, well, how can you help me with a relationship if you're single? And I'm like, okay. So I said, so if a baker is baking bread and he was working in a bakery, how does he know how to make bake bread? He doesn't he didn't have to eat bread before to know how to break and to make it, right? And they're like, good point. You know, so it's like of course, right? But I'm really like positive about this coaching thing because it's almost like I wish I, well, I can't say I wish because I guess that's the way the planet aligned it, right? So it's like, you know, if I would have learned this younger, and this is another thing that we like to always say to ourselves, right? Oh well, if I would have learned this before, then I wouldn't have gone through what I've gone through. But you have to have gone through what you have gone through in order to
Yes.
know that
And you
what it
need to
is.
change that speech going,
Yes,
okay, I have
exactly.
acquired the knowledge to project forward into growth. Because if you were meant to know it all before, you'd never
You
reach where
wouldn't.
you are now.
Exactly. It's no, it's true. And I believe I'm a strong believer of going through things to get to the next level, right?
Yes.
So
Yes.
it's like, people look at me and they're like, geez, Wendell, you've been through all this in your life, and like, how do you keep going? And I'm like, what do you mean? How can I keep going?
How
Like,
could you
I have
not?
no, there's no choice. Yeah, exactly. Like, how could I not? Right? It's like, I'm the type of person that I like to be challenged to a certain degree, right? If I'm challenged to a point where I'm put in a battle that I know that I can't win. When I say I know I can't win, I'm not saying like that I'm doubting myself or anything like that, but just logically, I can't win this battle. I don't want to be there, you know. And I know life is not going to give you every single battle that you're going to win, but at the same token, the challenge is there. Once that little margin of challenge is there, now it becomes interesting. It's like, oh,
Yes.
okay, excuse me. So now I got to learn about this. It's the same thing with, my job, with my work. I work in safety. I go to construction sites and plants, and people who are working in dangerous environments. I go out there and I start monitoring. So I'm kind of putting myself not in a dangerous position per se, but my job is dangerous. So that's why I I have that, not I don't want to say it's like a rush or anything, but I have that confidence because I know that as long as I do my job properly, everybody goes home.
Can I
That's what.
ask you something about your job?
Sure, you can ask me anything.
You had mentioned to me that there was something in the works. Did you take it?
Okay, so yes, so
Because
actually,
because I want you to understand something. As you master something and as you learn something, in order to affirm it and validate it and install it properly, you need to teach it.
that is true.
So you have mastered what you were just talking about.
Correct.
Now, the universe has given you that opportunity for evolution within yourself now to teach it and
That's right.
to secure, not only to check it, but now you have been put to a level where, hey, you are going to know that every single person there
Mm-hmm.
is functioning properly because of you.
Correct.
So
Correct.
it makes the inspector's job, whoever's going to fill your slot behind you, a lot
Mm.
easier because then you've taken the platform for teaching.
Yes, and it's funny that you're saying it just like that because that's exactly the reason why I accepted it. Because I was
Yes, you
thinking,
accepted it. Great job. High five.
yes.
High five. High five. Very happy for you.
Thank
Very
you, thank
happy
you.
for you.
And it was for that exact same reason because I thought about it and I said, I really do enjoy doing what I'm doing, but when you when you have somebody that's working with you or they don't know exactly what to do and you tell them they're like, oh, I don't understand this, and you're like, okay, well, it's and I never tell people, oh, it's simple, because I find that insulting. Like if you tell somebody it's simple, maybe it's simple to me, but it may not be simple to them, right? Because everybody's different. So I'm like, well, this is how it's done. I'm going to show you an easier way of how to get this done. So I just show them, pa, 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 right? And then they're like, oh, okay, it makes sense, you know. And then there was this one project where I went to, and I think this is where it stems from. So there was one project that I was working on, and I was a foreman, and I had 25 safety watch under me. And out of the 25 of them, about maybe 18 or 19 of them were new. So there was only like 4 or 5 that knew what they were doing. The other ones I had to like coach. So they were just like, okay, we'll just throw these guys on Wendell and let Wendell take care of it, right? So I took that as a challenge. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm gonna show them that I can show these people how to do the job. So I started showing them, doing evaluations and stuff. And then the foreman comes to me at that time, and she was like, and she was a hard person. I heard stories about her from before going there, so I was already like, I'm like, dear God, give me the strength to deal with this woman. So I ended up going there, and then we had this meeting, and then she was just like, okay, so she goes, I just want to make an announcement. I decided to give Wendell the title of employee development because it seems like everybody that goes to Wendell's are starting to get better as a safety watch. So I'm like, oh wow. I was actually not shocked at what she said, but shocked at the fact that she actually gave me kudos. Like I heard that she's not that type of person, and here she is giving me kudos. So that's where the validation was. I was like, okay, I need to
And it
find out
feels
how to.
good.
Yes, it
And why it
does.
felt so uncomfortable is because it's rare that people validate greatness. They're too
Absolutely.
busy validating the rest of the stuff that's
Absolutely.
unhealthy than validating greatness in people.
Yeah.
So I'm really happy she could see your greatness and what you were bringing.
Yeah, absolutely. So that was another thing too, was that, you know, I knew that I was good at what I do, right?
Yes.
But when somebody says, when somebody comes and tells you, wow, like you're changing people's lives almost, and then I'm like, okay, so this is kind of like what I'm doing as a life coach anyways, but now I'm doing it in a work sense. So, it's like now I get the divine, you know, interventions, they say, as
Yeah, but
somebody said.
your coaching still works for you in
Oh yeah.
your environment, big
Oh yeah.
time.
I apply it to
The
everything
the
now.
the NLP stuff and how you know how to that it creates win-win situations for you in any interaction.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Seriously. So
No,
it's not
you're right.
you're actually using your coaching every day when you go to work,
That's right.
every single day, and with all of the interactions that you have with people.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Because I mean,
So,
there was one time there was a woman that was coming at me, right? And she was kind of like talking to me in this weird way, and I thought, okay, her intentions doesn't seem genuine, so let me break it down, right? And and this is probably why I guess I'm a single guy these days, is because you try to. I don't try to show people, like, I don't have to, like, this is me, and this is what I do, and I don't try to impress anybody, right? Because people are just gonna like me as I am, or they're not, right?
exactly.
So
Exactly.
there was a lot of people that came to me, and I'm looking at them, and I could tell right off the hop their intentions are right away. I look at their intention, I'm like, oh, okay, this person seems like their intentions is only one channel. They just want one thing, and that's it. So I just break it down, and I'm like, okay, you know what? Like, I'm gonna save my time here. You seem like you were not on the same page, so I wish you the best in your search. I'm gonna continue on mine. And it becomes a fiasco. They're like, oh, how can you say this about me? And you don't know me, and it's always a negative
Do you
back
know
and forth.
why? Because all of a sudden, then they feel unheard, unvalidated, unseen, and you're not any longer fulfilling an emotional need that's they're seeking to fill through you.
I
You
think that's
see,
part of it. Yes, I think that's part of it. But I think it's more so that my ability to expose them, right?
yes,
Because
but it's your ability to feel them out that you should be looking
yes,
at. Are
right.
you an empath?
Now this is what I
Ah.
this is where I'm struggling. No, this isn't me. This is where I'm struggling because okay, so like I see what's going on in the world lately today, right? And yesterday, I mean, not to dampen our energy here, but yesterday, I was watching the news and I seen, like, a mother and a daughter got killed, right? And I was like it hit me, because I have two daughters, right? So it hit me and I was like, hmm, but I don't, I'm not emotional. Like, like I don't cry. I don't, like, I don't know how to say this, but it's like I feel it. Like I'm a feeler to a certain degree, but my emotions seems like, I
Okay,
guess it's
so
because,
basically what happens is that you have your emotional reactions under control and you allow the logic to kick in because if there's emotional intelligence there, you've already constructed and reprogrammed your brain to say, okay, let the emotion be what it is, stabilize my body, and allow the logic to kick in. That's the
yes.
difference. And
And somebody,
everybody has that capacity to do that, but
okay,
we've been trained to stay in the emotional state. But
right,
you have, but you like you're over that,
right,
which is a great thing.
yeah. And,
Whereas
and,
I'll be honest with you, I get caught up in my emotions sometimes. Okay.
I see, because I saw that video where you were very emotional, and I think that was another thing that kind of drawn me towards you, because I was like, anybody who could go on live camera and discuss something and just let it out like that, it shows that you're a very, like, open person, that you're very comfortable with yourself, that like you said, you are an empath, and me personally, like, I've I find that with my experience with empaths, like on a relationship scale, you know, sometimes it could be too, for me it could be too much, you know, like some guys don't really know how to really deal
Well, I
with it.
could be honest with you. The man that I'm dealing with right now, he thinks I'm way too much. Ah, I'm sorry, but imagine
uh,
waking up to this
no, so
every morning or every dealing with me. The type of person I don't let anything go by because I feel it all.
oh man, but I mean, in in a sense, that goes to show that you have a very strong man on your hands, because I'm telling you, like me personally, you
Oh,
know,
he is equal greatness to me.
well, that's
Very,
good.
but he just hasn't evolved yet. He's in the midst of evolving.
Okay,
So we all know what happens when a man is evolving, right?
right,
He's shedding and he's going through his dark nights of the soul and
right.
he's enlightening to many things. So that
Hmm.
in itself is, hey, we got to think about the caterpillar going to the butterfly, right? And the
Right.
chaos that's in the cocoon.
Yeah.
So that is what he is living right now, amplified by my energy. So yes, he is, listen, he's a super great guy. For
Well,
him to
that's,
put up with me and fuel me and actually save my life twice,
oh
hey,
wow.
the energy that he brings to me, it's I can't like it's unworldly. Okay,
Well,
I can't
bless for,
leave it on this level. It is so much more
yeah,
than anything of the human flesh.
yeah.
See, so and it's evolving and it's growth, but
Mm-hmm.
yes, it's intense and yes, it's excruciating
Mm-hmm.
for both of us, but
Okay.
we're hanging on.
Good. Well, so now that you you opened up a can of worms, and I know we only have a little bit of time, but like we can, I get this vibe
We
that
will
you
be
and I could
back
talk.
together live, definitely.
Yes, yes, definitely, because we can go on for hours, I think. And I think
Yes.
the just I'm looking at some of the comments that are coming in, and everybody's pretty much engaged, and yeah, it seems like they're enjoying
Good,
this.
because I haven't been watching the comments.
Yeah, they're just like right
I'm
up in
on
my
my
face,
phone.
actually. I
I
can't.
I'm really grateful for this chat this morning, and I really think that this is gonna go on to huge things, huge things.
So now that
Yes,
you're here, so let me share. I don't know if I should be sharing this because there's a lot of
yes, you should
people
be.
watching. No, okay, I'll explain it and then you'll see why. So, just before I started doing my coaching, right? Because again, like I said, I have two daughters, 29 and 19, okay? And I thought that, they're getting at that age now where I'm gonna have to hear at some point that either they're gonna date somebody or they're gonna get married, right? So I have to prepare myself for that. Now, I'm looking at what's going on lately, or even when we were like not even maybe 10, 15 years ago. The point I'm trying to say is dating has come to this evolution where now it's become a social thing. When I say a social thing, I mean it's like there's no more intimacy, there's no more face to face stuff. Everybody is more all about, here's my pictures, boom, 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 boom. Do you like me? Yes. Okay, let's meet. So now people are starting to meet each other based on pictures instead of what's actually in there,
Yeah,
what's in here, right?
yeah.
So, um, where was I going with this? Yes. So I started this thing where I thought, okay, I want to try and start a media, not a media. I keep saying medium, but like a panel where it'll be like at first I wanted to call it man versus woman. So basically what it was, the idea was so that men always say, "Oh, I don't understand women." Women say, "Oh, I don't understand men." So to solve that issue, we come to a medium where the guys would be telling the women, what why they do what
Yes,
they do, right? Women would
yes,
tell the men why they do what they do. So now guys
yes.
can understand, "Oh, okay, so that's why she does what she does. That's why she says the way she says it, because now it's become jokes like oh women are supposed to be in the kitchen doing dishes. Like I hear these jokes all the time, years and years, 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 and I'm like, okay, but and people still think like in a chauvinistic sense, right? It's like
Okay,
you
but
know,
hold on. Can I spit you what I believe about that?
yeah, go ahead.
Listen, I'm a woman. Now, in today's day and age, I am sorry, but everybody has forgotten their roles.
That's right.
Okay?
That's
Now,
my yeah.
in order for there to be a balance in a household, yes, you're damn right. The woman's got a role to play. And you're damn right that the man's got a role to play. But everybody's got that shit twisted now. And everybody's fighting for equal rights and all of this
Yeah,
crap. I'm sorry, men and women are not made equally. And they each have a job to do,
that's right.
rightfully in the family. Now, I don't know where society believes in taking all of this and all of what's going on, but no, I'm sorry. If everybody knew their damn place, half of this stuff would be avoided.
Bang on.
Okay?
Bang on. Yeah,
And I
bang on.
have to speak on that.
Nope, bang on. Yeah,
Okay?
we can do
Because
another we
this
can
is a huge problem.
it is. It is.
Men and women are not made equally. Women carry nurturing skills but you know what? Men can't give birth to children.
Mm-hmm.
So they are supposed to be the solid foundation for that woman to nurture
Right.
those kids.
That's right. Yeah,
Everybody's got a role. So
that's right.
as we can see, we could talk on this all day. But
Oh
yes,
yeah.
I will speak that. I'm old school. And yes, I believe that a woman, I'm sorry, you should be home taking care of your kids and stop delegating them to daycares when you're sitting home doing nothing. We could speak on this for hours.
Hours.
Just to let you know, Wendell, I've got two children myself. I have a
Oh, okay.
29-year-old daughter and I have a
Yeah.
20-year-old son.
Okay. Nice.
Okay.
Nice.
And so we have a lot in common.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Now
I'll
that
let you
it's
get, I know we don't have much time, so I'll let you
yeah,
get back to the topic. I know that I kind of blow it off
it's
with that.
okay.
Yes, everybody needs a
Okay.
role, but I think we need to come back and discuss men
Yeah,
and women's
absolutely.
roles
I'm down with
with
that.
some clarity.
Oh yeah, I'm down with that. That could
So
be
am
our
I.
next topic. That could be our next one.
That's great. Yes,
Mhm.
I think that's, yes, we have to do that.
Yeah, so I mean, so now to kind of summarize everything and kind of
Yeah.
put it to a close here. So I've come to the conclusion that, and I think I said it a little bit earlier, is that, we've been brought up we've been brought up being trained and told that, we have to take control of our life. We have to, find the best person for us. We
Mhm.
have to find the best job for us. We have to, life is what we make it, basically, right? But me personally, after going through all that stuff, and it's like, you know what? I don't think life is what we make it. Life is made based on the decisions that we make. So this is why I wanted
Yes,
to
but
get onto this decision making thing, because it's people think like, you know, oh, what shirt should I wear tonight? The green one or the blue one? Ah, I'll just wear the green one. So that's what their level of decision making is,
you know
right?
why? Because they decide from what judgment they're going to get from the world instead of wondering how it feels on their own damn skin.
Exactly.
Okay?
Exactly.
So this is an outward focus instead of an inward focus, deciding choices that are of no relevance in the spiritual world. Okay?
Right.
It's back to where the decision making comes from because as long as you're in your thoughts, it's running you wild. But
Right.
if you
Absolutely.
ask your heart anything and you silence yourself, it answers you.
There you
It
go.
gives you your answer. So what more do you
Right.
need? It's going to tell you it's good or it's not. Like you feel that. But
Right.
how many of us just say, okay, whatever, and go on with whatever we think we want? But we got to remember where these thoughts come from. And you, being a certified life coach, you know how the subconscious
Oh yeah.
brain works. It's comprised, it's a storage bank of memories of everything that we've ever absorbed in our
Right.
experience.
Right.
That's not the place where you want to choose your future from.
Right.
This is my push to make people aware. Hey, people, been governing from this place in the head for just way too long. It's gotten us nowhere. Look
Yeah.
what it's created for the
Oh
world.
yeah.
Look what it's created for ourselves.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So we gotta go back to a place of heart. And
Yeah.
you cannot go wrong if you're in your place of heart.
So
Because when you're in your place of heart and you're in your loving state, there's no room for everything else.
right. So
It's
you saw.
impossible.
Mhm. So you saw my post there about the brain and the heart, right? Because I think you actually triggered that when you said that. So I had a comment by one person, and I was kind of I wanted to throw this at you just to see what you were gonna say. So
Perfect.
one of my friends said something along the lines is, you know, the heart will lie to you, right?
It won't.
And this is what I replied back to her. So then she replied again, stating that based on her experience, you know, her heart kind of she thought that she felt a certain way, and she didn't. It didn't. It came back as not what she thought. So I'm coming to the conclusion that people kind of get mixed up with what is actually the brain and what is actually coming from the heart.
Okay, can I distinguish the
And
two
that's
right
of
now? Because
course.
right now, just right now, what you said to me, let's address this in her right now.
Okay.
Now, you exactly told me she thought.
Mm,
That alone tells you that she didn't feel.
mm,
Simple.
simple. I like
Anytime
that.
that there is any thinking involved, you're in the wrong state,
Okay.
because then you've bypassed the first brain. The first brain is the heart, which connects to the soul, which is energetic. Okay, on a physical level, if our
Mm-hmm.
heart stops, we got to get a shock to get that electricity going again. Okay, your heart has just as much neuroreceptors and even more than the brain has. So it starts from the initial brain of what you feel. Now, what you feel from the energies shoots through your limbic system to your brain, where it gets processed. This is where the thoughts come from. Your
Right.
thoughts don't come from your heart.
Right.
It's impossible. That's not how we're built. Okay.
That is
So,
true.
all right. So, how to determine where this person's place of being is, their state comes from, is if they talk. The best way to know is listen to somebody speak. They will tell you all your answers,
Oh yeah, that's
all of
true.
them.
And it's
She
funny.
said,
Sorry, just to
sorry,
interject there.
yeah,
So it's funny because you're absolutely right. Because when you listen to somebody talk, you can actually catch somebody in their falsehood, right? Like you can pick up on liars and cheaters and that sort of stuff just by listening. So sorry. So go ahead.
yes,
I just
yes.
want to say that.
Now, when you listen to somebody speak, she said she thought she felt. You can't think about a feeling.
That's true. I
I'm
thought
sorry,
yes,
it
I
doesn't
thought
work
that
like
too.
that. Unless you're in your state of thoughts, which are producing feelings, which your focus is on the feeling that you are producing for yourself.
Right.
Because that's key,
That
right?
is key.
Thoughts
I agree.
produce
Totally.
feelings
Totally.
immediately, instant chemical reactions to the thoughts to stabilize the body,
Right.
right? So as long as you're in a thinking process of anything, you are destabilizing your well-being, literally, literally, because your heart knows what it has to do better than you do.
That's true.
It knows its mission here. Your human false being, which I claim as my false being, Tobi Staples, without being my energetic being that's giving her life. Hey, that I don't want to be in her brain,
Right.
because that storage bank of trauma cannot, I cannot allow that to govern my life
That's true.
at all. So I have to remain in my heartful loving state and be loving in all that I say and I do, to make sure that the other stuff doesn't override. And it's hard at first. It's really hard at first,
Oh,
but
yes.
that's how you can tell. If somebody's talking to you about how they feel, then that's different than them telling you, oh, well, I think this and I think that.
Yeah. Yeah.
So address her and let her know. And guess what? You're going to be able to teach her the difference and allow her to feel her heart, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, because there's a lot of I don't want to say a lot because I don't really know to that extent, but based on what people have been posting and what she's been posting, I could tell like there's definitely something under the
We all
surface.
have healing to do,
Of course. And I get it. I totally get it.
all of us.
Totally get it.
And we all have constructed belief systems according to who we modeled growing up. It's
Right.
not our fault. This
Yep.
is all stuff that was planted. All these seeds of how we had to be, how we had to think, how we had to believe. We weren't allowed to feel. We were taught not to feel.
Right.
See, that's the difference. We weren't taught to respect our feelings and that they were valid and that we were worth something. We weren't taught that as children.
Yeah.
We were taught how to survive, how to work hard, how to disconnect from feeling, how to suck it up. Okay?
Yeah.
So this is why it's so important to reconnect to the heart again. Because that's what's fueling our existence.
It's true.
And we all have like, you're here today, I'm here today, and whoever opened their eyes today are the luckiest human beings because of all of the growth and the change and the evolution. We couldn't sit here 20 years ago when we were going through the thick shit of our lives
Right.
and talk like this.
No, you're absolutely right. That's true.
We would get shut down,
Immediately.
silenced, put in the loony bin, and left there.
Yeah.
Okay? We're
Yeah.
all learning now. All of us. Like just sitting down with you this morning I seek learning in everything, and I've learned so much already this morning, and that's why I'm so grateful for you.
Thank you. You're
And I
welcome.
really can't wait to do this again.
Yeah. Yeah. We'll do this soon. Promise you that. I had a great time too. It was nice sharing stuff with you, and it's funny because for a lot of people that know me, because we know a lot of people. It's funny because I was the first thing also too. I was looking at, your friends list and I was like, she knows a lot of people that we know that I know, so it may be possible that maybe earlier in life we may have actually indirectly met or know
Very
somebody that knows
possible.
somebody that knows somebody, right?
Very possible.
So I was like, I'm gonna do this thing on an open level because there's a reason, right? To everything, every purpose has its reason. Every reason has its purpose. However you want to say it, it's a reality in its sense, right? Because um, I'm like I said, I'm just trying to grow myself with regards to my life coaching and that kind of stuff. There's a lot of people that are coming at me with wanting to help me to push it out there. So like when you have an army behind you, it
Yes.
almost feels like any battle that you face, you cannot
Yes.
lose, right? So the more people you can add to your artillery, so to speak, and especially if they're on the same wavelength as you, it's so much better, so much better.
Yes. But
So
because you're possible, anything is possible. And yes, it's great to have an army.
yeah,
But let me reassure you, Wendell, you don't need one.
right,
You are your army.
true,
Shine, my brother.
true.
Shine, my brother. All right? And that's what I want you to fully embrace is the greatness of your being.
Okay,
Because you are doing a lot of great stuff.
thank you,
A
thank you.
lot of great stuff. And I encourage you to keep going with that. Really. And you know what? In divine timing, everything is going to come together.
Yeah,
Okay. And I will offer this to you live to the world. I have a coaching platform that I've just started putting together. Like there's no clients going through it yet, but you are more than welcome to jump on board
okay.
to see where this goes
Where do I
and bring
sign?
to it.
Where do I sign? Where's
Yeah.
that dotted
Yeah,
line? I'm gonna
because
sign right now.
I don't think people realize that we're on different ends of the country.
Yeah.
I'm in Montreal
Yeah.
and you're out west. Like,
Yeah.
I don't think people realize that you got up this morning early and you're heading to work right now
Yeah.
to bless up everybody's life this morning. I salute you, my brother. Hey,
That was
what time do you
funny.
have to go to work?
Probably in like half an hour.
Okay, so we got some time for another 10, 20 minutes of chat, or what,
Yeah,
how
sure.
long do we have?
Yeah, we got 10, 20 minutes. We can do it.
Sounds good. So where do you want to go for the last 10, 20 minutes of our life?
Okay, let's see.
Understand I'm grateful for you, Wendell, and I'm really glad that this came together. And you know what? I won't call names, but I'll let you know that it's my intense, great guy that's behind me that actually told me to go into his friends and get in touch with you.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yes.
Hmm. Interesting.
So
Okay.
you know him. So
Oh,
that's how my connection to you got steered. Just to let you
wow.
know.
Well, okay.
All
So
right.
then that's funny because that brings up something which is probably what we can end off with. But like I find that since for years now I've noticed that, people are coming at me, and I'm like, do I know you? Because I'll tell you something. Facebook is wonderful and everything, but because of how fast and how big it's gotten, there's a lot of little pockets and envelopes for these, evil people to come in through, like infiltrators, people
Yes.
who's like, oh, here's an opportunity for me to take advantage of somebody, right?
Yes.
I've had people come at me and they're like, oh,
Oh,
you're such a
yes.
good looking man and I want to have a relationship with you, and they're on the other side of the world, and I'm like, I can't do that. And then, then it gets to a point where it's like, so, I'm really in a situation. Can you send me like $200? I'm like, what?
Oh,
Like,
that's
oh,
catfishing, bro. That's
exactly,
catfishing. These are
exactly.
profiles that are just trying to rip you a new asshole.
Oh
Sorry to
man,
tell you that.
no, no. I am aware of that. My question is, why is it all of a sudden that it's so apparent now? Like it's ridiculous. I'm telling you, like every single day almost, I'm getting one of these either from Instagram or Facebook, like
Yeah, I've had them
automatic.
happen too. I've had it happen too. And what it is the more that you're out there, right? And the more
Yeah,
interactions you have with the world, and when they see that you're a loving person, guess what? In their eyes, that's the weakest person.
okay, okay.
And that's why it's going to happen. And that's why they're going to come at you, because predators prey on what they believe is weakness. But
Right.
that's not weakness. It's far from weakness.
Yeah, and
So you see the attempts. You haven't
oh
got
yeah,
caught up in them.
no, and that's funny.
That's the greatness of your clarity,
Yeah, but the
because
thing
you're
is,
allowing, I'll tell you what, you're allowing your feeling to steer you. Simple. And you know when these things are arising that they don't feel right. There's no thought that's needed.
right?
You allow yourself to feel.
Yeah,
And that's why you haven't really gotten caught up in a relationship, because of your allowance to feel. And you have yet to meet the woman who allows herself to genuinely feel. That's the
wow.
problem.
You're good. You're good.
Okay?
You're bang
Because
on
how
there.
can you get into a relationship with the magnitude that you feel with anybody who's stuck in this shit of life?
Bang on.
It's
You're bang
very,
on. Bang on.
it, okay?
Yeah, you're
So
bang on.
there is nothing wrong with how you're operating, because what's going to happen is you're going to be readily available for that woman who can feel and
Wow.
is of your magnitude
Wow.
and who will evolve with you, bro. Simple.
Yep. Thank you.
And that's right.
I
Don't
need to hear that
settle
one.
for anything less.
But you see, and it's funny because sometimes that's what happens. We get into this thing like you said, we get into this mind frame where we're like, okay, you know what? We're not gonna settle for anything. We're gonna be on our path, do what we gotta do, and when it comes to us, it'll come to us. So as we're doing what we're doing now, and as we're trying to stay positive and focused and all that good stuff, somebody comes into the picture, and then you're like, okay. And then you start like, probing into it, and then all of a sudden you're starting to see little characteristics come out, come out, come out, come out, and you're like, oh, wait a minute, could this be the one, right? So now you're like, okay, this has to be the one. Like, there's no way that this is
But there you go again in the thoughts.
right. This is what I'm trying to say. So then
This is
now
how automatic it happens to us, bro.
it's crazy. It's crazy.
You
You're
will
absolutely right.
feel,
Yeah,
you will feel when it's the one.
yeah,
Let your heart speak on that, nothing else.
yeah.
Because if you allow judgment from your brain, it's comprised of your past.
That's true. I can't
All
tell
of the
you.
trauma, all of
Yeah,
the bad energies, all of the bad interactions, all of the whatever, good or bad, or,
yeah,
don't think. Remain in the feeling
yeah,
because everything is in divine timing. But your heart knows.
yeah. Like there was so
And
many
you're going to
times.
know when you connect with that one. You're going to know. Your heart is going to speak to you.
No, you're right.
And then your brain is going to tell you, oh, well, how is this even fucking possible? Excuse the language, but
Yeah,
that's what happened. And then your
right.
brain is going to say, well, because of this, this, well, my feeling is not possible. No, don't deny yourself of that. Because in due timing, what you feel will happen. Simple.
Okay,
You can't avoid that.
right.
People connect and feel each other for many reasons.
That's
Many
true.
reasons.
That's true.
And you don't want to settle for the one that you got to think about. You want to be with somebody who's going to genuinely make you feel, but make you feel good without doing anything.
Yeah,
Because any relationship shouldn't be a task.
yeah.
The flow of
And like,
energy, the flow of
yeah.
energy, let me just say this one thing. Flow of
Okay,
energy does this. You either merge energies or you repel.
that's true.
And that
That
is the
is very true.
basis of it.
Yeah,
So, you mentioned about the simple. I have to keep things down to the simplest form of what it is for everybody to understand it on its simplest form. The simplest form is energies coming together, you either merge or repel.
that's true. One or
Now,
the
if
other.
you're in a state of thinking, you're going to find all the reasons to repel and cause it to repel because you're denying your feeling. So
No,
just remain in your heart.
yeah,
And no matter what you feel, honor that.
yeah,
Honor what you're feeling
yeah. And it's
because you're
funny because
feeling that.
yeah, and I think you're right in that sense because when I talk to people, and they ask me, they're like, so you've never been married? I'm like, nope. I'm like, why not? I'm like, because I've never really met that person, like you
There you
said,
go.
that got me to that level. And when I thought about it, because now I'm starting to really think about what you said earlier about the healing thing, and it's like I find that when I invested that, it's like, okay, so now I want to experience what this love thing is, right? So I meet this woman and she's like I said, boop, 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 she's got all the good qualities and this and that and the third, and I'm like, okay, now I can open up and love this person, right? So I start opening up and I'm buying her roses and I'm taking her out to dinner and I'm massaging her and I'm doing this, and then it gets to the point where I either see a text from another man in her phone, or I see her always talking about this other guy, or oh, this happened. It's not a necessarily a cheating thing, but it's a disrespect to the union, right? So this is where so it's like I don't want to have to go into a relationship like, oh, there's another one, or oh, you know what I mean, like
Okay, so this is going to determine your next, this is what's got to determine it. Listen,
exactly.
you're doing all the right things. When it comes to that, if you are as nurturing as you say you are, which I feel that you are, because you wouldn't say it, you're transparent. You
Yeah,
allow people to
I'm
see you
very
for who
transparent.
you are. You don't wear masks. I feel that off of you. You're very open like that. No, but listen, anybody you're interacting with, you have to understand, unless they are a fulfilled person and happy, you cannot give that to them.
Okay, so define fulfilled for me quickly or short.
Okay.
In short.
Fulfilled. Now, somebody who can genuinely love themselves unconditionally. And they can feel whole in the love that's fueling them first.
Yeah, that's right.
Nobody can give that to you. Nobody, no. This is why relationships don't work nowadays.
That's true.
Because people are not happy individuals and capable of loving themselves unconditionally.
That's true too.
So therefore, they can't love another like that, but we're all looking for it and expecting it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, you're right.
So,
I mean, I've had some experiences where, you know, I've I've been in relationships where, you know, I'm not a big person, you know, like I don't have to, you know, she doesn't have to have like, you know, the model body or, you know, the makeup and all this stuff. Like I'm about the inner beauty, right? So when I come to these women who have like issues, I don't know that they're issues at the beginning because nobody comes out and says, "Hey, Wendell, nice to meet you. So I got this issue and that issue and this issue and that issue and this issue and that issue," right? They'll just say, "Oh," they'll just say what I want to hear. So then I'm like, "Oh, okay. So now I believe that this could be a person that I can actually have something with." And then I go into it. And then days go and everything is peachy keen. I'm like, "Wow, this is wonderful. Okay, this can happen. This can happen." And all it takes is that one day for them to feel comfortable and they'd be like, "Okay, you know what? I think I've done enough
no,
to
no,
get him."
no. Actually, I'll tell you right now what shot it to shit from the first breath of it. The thinking. That's what shoots the relationship to shit before it starts. The thinking.
But yeah, but I also think it's more like people being honest with their inner issues
But
too.
look, this is what I'm trying to get to. A woman who is in her truest power of her being, who is an evolved woman, who understands what they're fueled by. Yes, they've got a lot of stuff that they've got to work out, but they know how to be loving to themselves and to others. And what does that do? The love induces the trust, the honesty, the respect, everything else that comes with it.
Okay.
But if somebody cannot wholeheartedly love themselves, genuinely, they are incapable of loving another.
That is true. That is true.
So that's the problem. So if you have to think about anything about another woman next to you, like you got to think about what she's about, and she can't openly show you the love that she's feeling for herself and for life, she doesn't warrant your energy.
Yeah, because
Honestly.
I've also had the opposite where, those first and second dates and stuff. Oh, so tell me about yourself, little short answers, little things here and there. I'm like, okay, so I feel like you're resisting to open up with
Yeah.
me. Like why is that? Oh, well, it's too early and I don't want to talk too much about myself. Blah, blah, blah. So I'm like,
Okay, so they're not in their
they're
wholehearted
not
loving
exactly.
nature state. They can't love
Exactly.
themselves. They're
Exactly.
guarding themselves.
It's
They're
like me.
operating out of fear.
Yeah, and like me personally, it's like when I meet somebody, it's like, here's my brain, boom, here's my heart, boom, there's my kidneys, boom, there's my legs, boom. It's like
Now
it's
you
too much.
can't do that.
It's
You
too
can't
much.
do
It's
that.
too much.
You
Exactly.
can't do that though. What you have to
Yeah.
do is you have to set emotional boundaries because you have your emotions pretty much under control. You're good
Yeah.
with that,
Yeah.
which most men have a really hard time with that.
That's
Why?
true.
Because from their born, they're told, men aren't
Mm,
supposed to do that. Suck it
yeah.
up. Don't feel
Yeah.
like that. Harden up. Don't cry. Don't talk
Mhm.
like that. Be like this. Okay?
Yeah, that's what I was mentioning earlier.
So for you to be able to be tapped into your emotions and to allow yourself to feel, that's huge. That
Yeah,
is huge.
yeah.
And I salute you for that because you own that really well.
Thank
And
you.
you're able to talk about it and tap into what you feel.
Yeah,
Now, your ability of doing so is what allows you to see things for what they are.
yeah.
So
True.
don't allow the subconscious brain to trick you into doing what's the easiest for you to protect you.
Right.
Because we know that's what's going to do.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. Deceit.
So when I'm going to tell you this, Wendell, you're going to know without any mistake who that special person will be to you. And it may not happen today, but what your heart is telling you,
Mm-hmm.
trust me when I tell you, you got to listen to that because you're experiencing that.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
you
You're
cannot allow your brain coming from your past to steer you away from whatever you're feeling, no matter what it is. And this
no.
is the
Good
whole,
point.
it's
Very
so
good.
powerful. The
It is.
brain
It
is
is.
powerful. The paradigms, the belief systems
It
are
is.
powerful.
It is.
You're wising up and you're rising up above that stuff. Any
I love that.
experience without an emotional charge
Yeah,
is wisdom, bro.
yeah. I seen one of your video. You have a video titled that, right? Wising up and rising up, or a book?
Actually, I have a book out there called
Yes.
Wise Up to Rise Up, and
Yes.
that
I
was the
remember.
third book that I wrote. But
Oh
I've
wow.
now just written a parenting book that's
Oh, nice.
wise and rising.
Why isn't rising? No, it's funny because the minute you said that, I was like, oh, okay, I remember now because I was going through your Facebook before when you, again, like what I do when people send me friend requests. So I
Yeah,
was going through all this stuff and I see, oh, said you're an author, like she writes books. I'm like, interesting. Because the reason why I was drawn to that was because there was once upon a time, and I think I mentioned it on Facebook many, many, many years ago. I wanted to write a book about my childhood, right? I wanted to call it the rod that's what was it? The rod that spared the child or something like that. Because in the
okay.
Bible it says, the spare the rod and not spoil the child. And as me growing up, you know, with I don't want to really say it as abuse, but it was more aggressive discipline, you know. And I mean, I still love my parents like as I love them from day
For
one.
sure,
I'll never stop loving my parents, right?
for sure.
But at the same token, it's like that part of my life made me who I am today, you know. And a lot of people when I tell people like, 'cause I don't tell everybody this, I only tell my close people this, and they're like, well, that sounds so harsh. Like you should be, you know, these people that have been abused and stuff. Like, how come you're not in jail? How come you're not on drugs? How come you're not like these type of people? And I said, well, it's because I chose not to be those people, you know. And if you have that power to do so, you could do it, you know.
Yes, but you have great energetic keepers that are guiding you on the other side. So
That is true
that
too. That is
that
true.
is one of your biggest, hey,
That is true
you're
too.
the force that's guiding you that made sure I relayed certain things to you protects you greatly.
That is true. That is definitely true.
Okay. And yeah, you feel that, you know that already. So, and I'm sure you've had many situations that have shown you that already too.
Oh yeah.
All right. So this
Oh,
is why you have to tap in and stay always in your truest energies
absolutely.
with no thought involved because,
That's funny.
and trust me, you know something? What we don't think is possible one day becomes reality the next,
That's true.
as long as you stay in your truest nature of things.
That is true.
And as long as you stay loving to yourself, you can manifest anything. And being in a state of love for yourself and love for the universe, literally, you can manifest any of your heart's desires. And that's where you're the most powerful, is when you remain in your heart state.
Yeah.
So I encourage you to do that. I encourage you to remain in your heartful state.
I will.
Don't
Thank you.
allow your brain to override anything that you're feeling, ever, because you're certified to know how powerful that brain fucks us.
Yep.
Okay? Sorry to
That's
drop
true.
it like that, but I'm
You're as real as
okay.
it gets, and I appreciate that I appreciate that from you. But you're absolutely right. You're absolutely right.
You know, like, just stay in your heart space. And from that space, you're going to know, because that's where all the true answers lie.
Right.
That's where they are.
Yeah.
We're fueled by the power of the all-knowing through this unconditional love.
Yeah.
All of your answers are there.
Yeah.
Don't seek to your brain for answers that it can't produce, because
Right.
that's secondary. That's the
Yeah.
processing center for all of this all-knowing.
Yeah. All knowing. Yes. I know I hear that a lot in your broadcast, like
Okay, you
all
know what?
knowing.
Would you like me to describe it in the couple of minutes that we have left?
Sure. Sure.
Okay. Now, this source of greatness, the energies, that is the basis of all things, because there is nothing manifested without energy behind it. Just like even our words, we don't speak without energy.
Right.
We don't have emotions without the movement of energy within us, right?
Right.
Now, the energy, the connection to the universe, how we're connected, let's say, let me put it on a simple basis. Let's put it as our physical body is our avatar, and the force that's giving us life through our heart connection is our soul. Now, our soul's energy is always connected to the energy of the universe. We're never disconnected from that, ever. So, this energy that controls everything, everything's comprised in that. There's nothing that has ever been thought of, created, wished, dreamt, that's not in this energy.
Right. Okay.
Okay? Now, this all-knowing energy is inside this unconditional love of everything. And that's why the all-knowing can be in this energy without destroying it, is because of the unconditional love that allows it to be there, and allows creation, and allows manifestation.
Okay.
But this is also what's fueling us and giving us life here, giving us our experience, because life is just an experience.
That is correct.
When we
That is
check out
correct.
of this experience, we go on to another.
Yeah.
Our experiences never end.
Yeah.
They
That's right.
just keep going, okay?
Yeah.
And our learning never ends.
Hmm.
So this is the power of the all-knowing. And that's what I mean, because the composition of this energy is highly calculated. It's designed. There are certain laws that it governs itself on. And
Okay.
as long as you remain in your heart state, you feel it.
So are
All
you
your
saying that
answers are there.
so are you considering this energy as a god, or is this like some kind of new age way of saying like
You know
spirit?
what? I have a really hard time, to be honest with you, I have a really hard time saying God.
Hmm.
God is man-made. I believe that it's a prime creator. There is an initial, there has to be a consciousness or something that wished us into existence or dreamt us into existence, because it would have never just happened, right? When I met my higher self, I was instructed by Metatron that why I had to live everything I had to live, and what my true purpose was, and why I had to beat death, and why I had to continue. And a lot of that brought me to today. You see, you got to understand something. I had a spiritual enlightening, an awakening 15 months ago. 15 months ago, connecting to my heart. I never thought it was possible before.
Oh,
This is
okay.
where my books came from. I've written 7 books in 15 months. How is that humanly possible? Because I don't write them, I channel them.
So all those books that you wrote were within the last 7 months, you
Year and
said?
a half,
Wow.
on top of everything else that I'm doing. And
Wow.
recently beating death again in February. And the other morning getting emotional on live after I had a huge, massive asthma attack because of the stress that I'm living.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
But I got to keep going. And
Yeah.
how do I do that? I have to stay in my heart space.
Yeah.
If I stay in my brain, I'm dead. And that's how come I can understand the difference between the two, because my life depends on it.
Yeah.
And that's why it's so important to teach it to others and to show others and talk about it, because people don't know.
Yeah. It's funny because Vincent Flint, by the way, good
Yeah.
morning and for joining us. Um, he mentioned you matter the most, right? And as I was looking at your thing, I seen that you were like digital creator, CEO of you matter the most.ca, and I was like, okay, and that was the first thing I thought. I thought, oh, okay, it sounds like a kind of a site where I could see myself as a life coach working with her. So maybe that's why she was reaching out to me. So that's what I put one. It's funny because thanks, Vince, for bringing that up because I wanted to ask you about that earlier and I totally forgot. And now that he put it in the comments and I was just like, yes, that's true. Like I should have
Okay.
asked.
I'll tell you about Vincent Flint. He's my soul brother.
Oh, oh,
He's a
okay,
dream builder. He has great aspirations. He's got great motivation, and he
okay,
keeps me in check.
nice.
Okay.
Okay,
He's
yeah,
somebody
I'll need
that's
one of those.
always looked out for me. And when I was at my lowest points in life, I'm talking all fucked up on drugs, not knowing where the hell I was going, what I
Wow,
was doing. This man fed me. This guy never judged me. This guy
wow,
lifted me up out of all of the swamp of my shit
hmm,
continuously.
wow,
He's the one that reminds me when I'm feeling like I just can't go on another day. He's the one that says, "Hey, Toby, have you forgotten who the fuck you are? Smarten
wow.
up, okay?
Hmm.
I love you enough. Get it right." And
God bless you, Vince.
quickly snaps my brain back into where it needs to be. But we all need that one person to do that for us.
Oh, absolutely.
And you know
Yeah,
what? He's been a huge influence in not only keeping me going, but supporting
helping you
my every
promote.
move through it. And
Yeah,
it's not something, him and I have been friends now for, hey, real solid. He's been a big stabilizer in my life for 10 years.
well,
His energy has changed things for me huge. And he has suffered a lot in life. He's one of the biggest warriors on the planet.
hmm,
He has never had it easy. Never.
wow,
And that's why I respect him, because I don't know. You know what? I've been through a lot of shit, but so is he. And the way he can get up and motivate and be loving to his
takes a lot.
kids and be loving to his wife, no matter what, it blows my mind. It teaches me that this is possible.
Wow.
Because honestly, Wendell, where I come from, true love, a real relationship is not possible. Okay.
Yep, I believe it.
So that's, you know what? And the You Matter the Most platform, I'll be honest with you, I just built that since my heart attack. I had a
Oh,
heart
wow.
attack in February. I've been home realizing that I needed change and I needed to push all this love and learning that I have
Yeah,
within myself out to the world.
yeah,
And how was I going to do it? And how could I teach people that they matter
yeah,
and that they need to tap into their heart power?
yeah.
I sat down, I asked for help to build my website, couldn't get anybody to help me.
Wow.
I did it. I did it on my own. I sat there and I cried.
Wow. Right.
I cried through it,
Yeah.
putting that website together. And you
Hmm.
know what? I'm proud of it.
Yeah.
And I would really love for you to get your name and pick up there as one of the staff, okay?
Okay. I'm in. I'm in.
Because, like I said, it's just starting.
Yeah.
But I would love to create programs, teach people, have
Yeah.
classes, have ebooks. These are things we can work on together, because your idea of the man and the woman and the two dynamics.
Yeah.
Yes, bro.
Yeah.
We can help people have good relationships again in their life.
Yeah.
And that is so important because,
Oh, that's life changing. Yeah.
yes, it
Absolutely.
is. Because we all need each other. We're not meant to be alone on this planet.
Yeah. I mean,
And too many of us have remained alone for too long.
yeah.
And if we haven't remained alone, we've buckled up with relationships that are a reflection of all the shit in our head. And
Yeah.
that's not healthy either.
No, it's not.
I think we've got all kinds of, I know you're heading to work, but oh boy, the brainstorming, Wendell. When you get home later, you just reach out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Because even during your day, when you get ideas, please, I'd like you to take out
Okay.
something, take your phone out, record every idea that comes to you.
Okay. Absolutely.
Because they're valid, they're worth it, and they're going to induce huge change. I know it, I feel it.
Yeah. Okay. Sounds good. Deal. Wow. What a discussion this morning. Hey, this is great. So thanks again for all you people out there watching us and enjoying this. It was nice to get to know a little bit about you. I know I don't know that many people on here yet, but you know, in
That's
due time,
okay
I'm
as
sure I
the
will.
time
Yeah.
goes, and you
Yeah.
can show me how to put like engaging things onto the here so that we can get people like my computer. I don't know why I can't go live. I did it on my phone, but it worked out well. I got you to join it perfect. But now
Yeah.
I got to figure out why my computer won't allow me to do it, because from there I'm sure I can access a lot of other tools
Okay.
to really get people engaged.
Yeah. Okay. I'll work on that. Use my
How are you
computer.
feeling right now, Wendell?
Honestly, I feel very good. Like my
Good.
spirit's at peace. It's like, because at first I was like, I hope this is not one of these money scam things, blah, 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 because we get exposed to it all the time, with Facebook and social media and that sort of stuff.
Oh no, I'm very real and I'm not
Oh
looking
no,
for
and I
your
know.
bread.
Oh, and I know. Oh, and I know.
I'm
And
not
it's
looking for your bread, bro.
but honestly, I'm very, very happy that I actually suggested, to do the video
Yeah.
thing, because at first I was like, I'm just gonna throw this out there, and I kind of got the impression that you were kind of gonna say, well, I'm kind of doing my own thing, so to speak, so I'm not really ready
Oh
to do it,
no.
but that was just my thought because again, I didn't know you, right? So
Yeah.
as we started talking, and then it was almost like a pebble that you throw down the snow, and it just snowballed and snowballed and just got bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger. And then I'm looking at, because all the comments are in my face, right? So I'm looking at all the comments and I'm just like, this is what I was looking for. This is what it's about, You want to get people engaged and that sort of stuff. And there's a lot of people that are coming at me, with the life coaching thing. I have another friend that's putting her own social platform together and that kind of stuff. And I don't want to get into exposing her secret or whatever, but she's doing some pretty good stuff. And she kind of came at me too and said, I want to kind of put a little life coaching thing there too. So I'm like, okay, so it's like the gates are opening now, right?
Yes.
And I'm actually welcoming them now. Whereas if this happened, like maybe, I don't know, 3, 4 years ago, that skepticism would be thick as a brick wall. I'd be like, nope, nope, nope. They want my money. Nope. They want my
Well,
money. Nope.
that's just self-preservation. You're protecting
Exactly.
yourself from all the negativity that you're feeling out there,
Yeah. Yeah. But
which is great,
yeah.
which
But
is a
you
great thing.
yeah. But when you
And you know what,
mentioned,
honestly, I really feel in my heart that this is going to go great places because you know what? I'm a truth teller, and so are you. And that's what separates us from the rest.
that's right. Yeah.
I don't need a special secret.
Yeah.
I just need to be tapped into my heart and allow myself to speak the truth.
Tell it like it
And
is.
that's what separates. that's what that's why I'm not in a bunch. you know? And
Yeah.
you know what, Wendell? I really appreciate you. And I want you to know, I'm very, yes, lots of energy, and I may seem Like I'm sure you've seen some videos where, yeah, I'm very adamant and I get
Yeah,
right
yeah,
into it. And
yeah. You get
but I
into it.
want I want to encourage you never to be fearful of my reaction to anything that you have to say
Okay,
because I welcome that. I want your heart to speak because everything happens for a reason.
that's right.
Now, this connection this morning, you have learning from me. You're
Okay.
going to teach me something.
Yeah,
No matter what, you, there's a reason for all of this. And I believe that.
yeah.
So I am open to the learning. And I really want you to, any idea or anything that you feel you got to say,
Right.
please bring it to me.
Okay, we'll do.
I am so receiving of it.
Okay, we'll do. Absolutely. You have my word. And
Good,
as people who know me, they know that I keep my word. 100.
good, good.
I'm that type
Well,
of guy.
good. I'm happy to hear that. How many
Good.
minutes you got left before you got to go and pump greatness into the world?
I'd say about two.
All right. Well, listen, I can't thank you enough. Okay. I
Yeah,
am
this was
really
great.
grateful that you
Me
came
too.
on.
Me too.
I'm
Thanks for
really
having me.
happy that we got to talk about some really great stuff.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy. I'm going to go and check the feedback. I'm sure it's going to be really good.
Oh yeah. Yeah. This was
And
amazing. It was good. It was very
it
good.
really was. And I really would love, I know it's a lot for you because you go from here, you go to work, but I would really love for you to join live. Listen, if you could come on every morning, I would love it. I would, you know what? I'm down for that.
Okay.
I am so down for that. If you can't, I get it. I don't do
Okay.
lives on the weekend.
Okay.
I hold that space for myself.
Yeah, that's your
But
time.
Monday to Friday, if you
Okay.
want to jump on live, like tomorrow's a holiday, it's Canada Day, so we'll give it a
That's true.
break. But if we could touch base with some ideas, but you know what? If you'd like to join Monday morning live with me when we jump back on for the week, I would be very grateful if you did,
Okay. Perfect.
because you can
Sure.
let me know. But I'm so grateful for you. I wish you such an amazing day.
You too.
And really, I really got really heartfelt this morning. My heart is full. I'm very, very happy. I'm content. I'm more than content.
Good.
Okay. I'm very grateful for you, Wendell.
Grateful for you too. Thanks for inviting me into your circle and your world and all that stuff. Like good
You
things
know
are gonna
what?
happen.
It was a real pleasure. And it will be. I know that this is going to grow great change.
Yeah.
Great change.
Good.
So you're going out to pump greatness into the world, are you?
Yes, I am. Love and light.
Okay. So now that you've taken this the advancement, do you start teaching right away? How does that go?
I start on Monday doing the teaching.
Sweet.
Yeah.
What? High five, buddy.
Bye.
High five. Yes, yes, yes. Okay, good job. Okay, I wish you a wonderful day. I
Thank you.
want you
You
to get
too.
the most out of your day.
Will do.
Okay, stay tapped into that wonderful heart of yours.
Yes, I
All right.
will. You. You do the same.
And I want to say good morning to everybody. Have a great day. When window comes off, this is where I'm going to end it too for the day. I
Good.
want you guys all to be the best people that you could possibly be today. Be true to your hearts. Okay. Don't steer from anything else because that's where the answers lie. All right. You're sourced by infinite unconditional love. Love yourself unconditionally. Love others unconditionally. Okay. But it starts with you, people. Please. All right. Wendell, you've been
Yes.
amazing. I'm
You
very
too,
happy
Toby.
that this
Thank you.
started.
Yes, me too, Toby. And I like to thank all your followers and all that too. Feel free to add me. Check out my
Yes,
page.
please, guys, look him up, friend him,
Yeah,
because
I
we're going
have
to
a
be
page
doing
that's
some
just
great things in the future.
yes. Yeah. Yeah. Thank you.
Have a great day, Wendell.
You too.
And it was
All right.
really, really, really great to make this connection with you.
Good. Thank you. I'm glad to hear that and same here.
All right. Have
Okay.
a great day.
You too.
Peace.
Peace.